Hi, I'm Curtis in Kansas. Today I'm going to set up a Lightning node. I'm following the Gary Vee model and document my journey, so I'm going to create a video and post it. I'm using the Get Umbrel program, which I'll step you through. These are the materials I've already bought. I went with the Raspberry Pi 8 gigabytes. It was a essentials kit that was available at a local retailer. Seemed like the great thing to go with. I also went with the crucial 1 terabyte drive. It was the one selected in the Umbrel literature. It was available at my local store. The case for the terabyte drive, and then my Ethernet router also needed an additional port, so I bought a $15 switch to add some additional ports. Let's get started. So here's all the componentry unboxed. This is the Raspberry Pi. My essentials kit came with the power supply and the SD card. Apparently it's very important to use a Raspberry Pi manufacturer's power supply. There's issues if you don't. This is the crucial solid state drive. I've installed it inside of the case, and the case has a closure that goes over it. Connector cable for between the two, Ethernet router. I'm next going to go ahead and download Umbrel and get it flashed onto this SD card. Okay, so the HD card that came with the Raspberry Pi kit ended up having a lot of data already downloaded onto it. I wasn't necessarily positive of how to reformat it, so I just went ahead and used a different 32 gigabyte drive that I have. Let's go ahead and get that installed. The flashing went really easy. It was a completely self-explanatory process, just following the steps. I think we're in. Okay, so the next step was to go ahead and connect the solid state drive to the Raspberry Pi using one of the two USB 3 connectors that are available. I'm going to hang this vertically underneath my desk. So I've got a nice spot here. So I mounted it to this rack to give me some ease of use. Gone ahead and connected it. Next step is to connect the router. I've got my wires ran in a way that I can put it underneath my desk after everything's up and running. So go ahead and connect the router. Nice good connection. And power it up. So it should just be a matter of plugging in the power connector. Power it up. We've got operating lights on both of them. Instructions are to wait about 5 minutes and then look for it to show up on my router. It's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to go back to the instructions and try to open the Umbrel information. Confirming my password. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording while I write down my secret seed phrase. Okay, so I have my security phrase written down. Important thing here on the screen, one last thing. Umbrel is in beta and should not be considered secure. I should put no more funds on my Umbrel than I am prepared to lose. That's a scary agreement. I'm just going to let this run. I will check back with you guys after it's completely downloaded. It ended up taking about 4 days to download the entire Bitcoin blockchain. The biggest problem I had was heat. The system provides warnings if it gets too hot, and then it throttles down the CPU to try to reduce the likelihood of damage. I had not read a lot about the heat issue in my initial research, but after I started looking for solutions, it turns out it is an area of wide concern. I ultimately ran a small personal fan pointed towards the Raspberry Pi and case, and eventually opened the case to keep it in normal operating conditions. My new research led me to order an official Raspberry Pi fan that could go inside of the factory box, but while I was waiting for that to arrive, I found Umbrel had recommended on Twitter a Flirk aluminum case. I ordered that from Amazon and replaced it with great results. The aluminum case disperses the heat from the CPU. I put everything back together on my rack, and now I am running a full Bitcoin and Lightning node. I have more work to do. I want to rename my node and connect with some peers, but as of right now, the network is a little bit more decentralized. I want to give thanks to BTC Sessions. I watched his video on this about 3 times before proceeding on my own. Thank you for watching.